If you're going to use speakerphone, you have to flip the phone first to gain access to kind of quality of voice.
That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that. What we have done in the past is we have really optimized on some of our devices. We have done a lot of work on the sound chamber around this. Certainly, if it's on the table, it gets blocked. But if you'll notice, the device actually has a curve, and the speaker is at the top right, so it's actually not touching the surface. So the quality will be pretty good. And these are the kinds of things that we are still optimizing and making sure that we provide you the best experience. So, given that this is running out of battery anyway, let me also demo to you the Touchstone. This is the third product that we announced yesterday. It's an accessory. It's plugged into the wall charger. It sits on your desk at home or at work, and all you have to do is to take your device and put it on the Touchstone. It's magnetic. It's connected to the Touchstone now, and it's charging inductively, wirelessly. You can see the battery indicator on the top right. It's charging right now. You don't have to insert a cable, go under the desk and, pull the wire out. Just do this. Oops. Of course, if I take a picture, if I yank it, it will drop, but it's actually pretty strong. I can even turn it around and it will not fall.
It'll erase all tapes.
Sorry? Yes. Now let me show you the really cool feature about this. When it's sitting on the charger and charging, and it gets a phone call. When this receives a phone call while in the Touchstone and you pick it up, it will automatically answer the phone. Like you do on a landline. The phone rings, you pick it up and it answers the phone. You pick it up, not pressing any buttons, and it answers the phone automatically as soon as I pick it up. Even cooler, I put it back while it's on a call, I put it back in the Touchstone, and it immediately switches into speakerphone. So again, something that you can use on your desk while you're doing work, and now I'm listening to myself. So this accessory will be available at the time when the device is available. In the box, you will have the micro USB connector for charging, either directly through the wall or through the PC by trickle charging.
And available when?
In the first half of this year.
Okay.
As soon as we possibly can. That's the goal. So while this is charging on the fancy Touchstone, let's switch to this device.
Can it otherwise charge via USB?
Yes. Micro USB connector. The next feature, sorry?
A non-replaceable battery?
Oh, it is a completely replaceable battery. It's the back cover comes off, and you can take out the battery and put in a new one.
Thanks.
The next feature that I want to demo to you is called Synergy. What Synergy means is you have information in different areas of the web and also on your PC and maybe on your device. Let's say, for instance, you may have your work information in Exchange, and you may have your personal information in Google. You have Facebook and your Facebook buddies. You want those worlds to be separate, right? You don't want your Facebook information to be in Exchange or vice versa. But still, you want access to all that information as easily as possible. And that's what Synergy does. So let's see how it works in Contacts. I launch my contact list, I tap on Sophia, and on the top right you can see that number 2 on the stack of pictures for Sophia. This indicates that her information is getting linked from 2 different sources. So if I tap here, I see what those sources are. I have her information on Google, I have her information on Exchange, and I'm bringing those 2 together, but not creating 2 different entries for that in the contact book. I'm only creating 1 entry. That's really, really key. If I look at the details now, I don't have to worry about whether her mobile number came from Google or whether her work number came from Exchange. I just know that these are her numbers, these are my options to talk to her, and I can just make a decision from here without worrying about the source of data. It's really, really helpful. Let's see how we do this in the calendar. Same thing as contacts. We sync with multiple sources on the web. Exchange, Google Calendar, as well as Facebook events. So you can see that there's a lot of fun going on because it's Friday and you're in Vegas. But there's too much clutter in this calendar view right now. What if you want to only focus on your work meeting? I can go in the drop down here and just select to look at my Palm calendar. And everything else goes away. Now I can just focus on what my work appointments are. But you will notice that there are these gray shaded areas. What this indicates is my busy time from the other calendar. So I don't double book myself when I'm looking even at my work calendar or I want to add any work events. The other thing that I want to show you is how we handle free time on your calendar. Not everyone here is blessed with free time during the day, but for those of us who are, we don't want to unnecessarily take up space on your calendar with a bunch of empty calendar, with a bunch of empty time. So here I have 2 hours and 30 minutes free, or I have 7 hours free, and we compress that time and we show you those accordion folds so we can actually show you the real data on the device. I can just tap that and it will expand. I can just tap that again and it will compress back. If I want to add an event, I don't have to go to a menu item. I don't have to go to a different view. I just tap the screen there and I just start typing. So in place addition of calendar events. Just like you would do on a pen and paper. Very, very simple. Now let's look at another application which all of us open it. Let's look at how email works. Not surprisingly, you see all your accounts in one single list. In this case, I have 2 accounts, my Exchange ActiveSync account with Palm and my Google IMAP account. You can also tap on these icons and it will show you all the subfolders within that particular account. But we only highlight the inbox because that's what people are mostly interested in, especially in a mobile kind of an environment. You can have separate inboxes for those 2 accounts, or you can have a common inbox. A lot of you probably get newsletters in your emails every day. They look really good on the desktop, but they don't look that good on a mobile device. So let's see how we handle that. On this device, you'll actually see exactly how it looks on a desktop. Full HTML, but it's not very readable on this screen, right? It's pretty small. I have to go this close. I can double tap, and it's very readable now. I can read the entire HTML email. All the links are live. I can tap on them. That will launch the browser, so I can perform all my email activities very, very easily. Is there a question?
How do you zoom back out once you're zoomed in?
I'll show you that. I will show you that. There are 2 ways to do that. So a lot of people send pictures over email. And let's see how we handle that. You see pictures right there in the image. So inline viewing of images, again using the HTML engine that we have. Now my friends are bugging me. Let's try to compose an email. When you try to write an email, at the very top you can decide which account you want to send it from. We'll make an intelligent choice for you, but you can change that. And I can start typing in the to field. Now we are looking up all your contacts. Doesn't matter which account those contacts come from. I am sending an email from Gmail, but that doesn't mean it will only look up my Google contacts. It will look up my Exchange contacts. It will look up my Facebook contacts. So over Gmail, I can easily send an email to my Facebook buddy. So this is the power of synergy. By bringing it all together and making contacts as a hub, other applications then can make use of that hub in interesting ways. And third-party applications will also be able to make use of that because we will give them PIM access at some point.
What's the operating system for? Is it Linux-based or is it still...
There are some Linux components at the very lower layer. However, to build an application for the platform, all you need is standard web technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Yes.
Is it possible to build like C-level applications?
Not planned at this time, but we are continuing to look at it. We don't have a public SDK release right now. We are under a private beta with some of our very close partners because we are learning in the process as well, and at some point in the near future we will launch the SDK so that anyone can download it and build applications.
Will there be an app store?
There will be an app catalog. The App Store term is overused right now, which will allow developers to distribute applications. The good news is that that will not be the only way you can distribute applications for our operating system. As long as your application is certified and it's well behaving, you can use whatever way you want to distribute it. If you want people to go to your website and download it from there, so be it. We don't care. But we will provide the mechanism on device to have the app catalog. So I'm typing this email to Lynn, and I select the email address. Oh, by the way, if there are no contact matches on the device itself, then it will actually look up your Exchange global address book. So for your entire corporate directory, you can send an email to anyone. As I'm trying to send this email to Lynn, I realize that I actually need to refer to some information in another email. On any other mobile device, if you have to do that, you pretty much have to either cancel this email or you have to save it as draft. You have to then go back to inbox, then come back to draft and start the email again. It's a pain. With the card view on the WebOS, we actually make it very, very easy because there is an existing card for the email list view. So you can have different cards even within the same application. So I can, killing applications sometimes is so easy.
Is there copy paste?
There is copy paste.
Makes all the difference.
There are no emails in my Exchange inbox.
I copy paste all day on BlackBerry. I don't know how.
So I go back to another. Let's create that email that I was working on earlier, that I was trying to send to Lynn.
And what's the music exchange?
Oh, yeah.
And now I want to go refer to another email. I can go to any of my emails here. Go back to the contact view, the card view,
I had one of the first ever.
and back here.
Like an old pager.
So in parallel, I can have compose, reply, email list view, email read view, all going in parallel. I don't have to come out of an activity, perform the other one, and go back. So it's very, very easy for you to have parallel activity.
Now I'm back to this.
Did you have a question? Yes. It is synchronized with Microsoft Exchange.
I noticed you had a paperclip at the bottom for attachment.
Uh-huh.
What can you attach to an email?
You can attach images, music, documents, videos, so pretty much.
So there's file space besides just, I mean, if I have a document somewhere on that device, I can attach it.
Absolutely. Okay, but my favorite feature in the email application is here. So I see that this email is from Anthony and I see Anthony's picture, but I also see his IM presence right there in email. So I don't actually have to reply to him over email, I can send him an IM. If I tap there, I can actually see all the ways that I can contact him. I see that he's online on Google Talk. I tap there and that will bring up the Google Talk chat with him. So now I can... What instant messaging protocols are you supporting at this point? At this point we are supporting Google and AOL. And we are working on other ones. So very easily I was, from the email context, I was able to send him an email, an instant messaging.
Can the IM app pop up alerts when you're in another program?
Absolutely. I will actually show you how alerts work overall in just a moment. The messaging application is really cool. There are two views. There's the buddies view and the conversations view. In the buddy list, like in every other application, there's a single list for all the instant messaging friends that you have. Whether they are on Google, whether they are on AOL, you don't have to go to separate lists. They're all in one place. And you can see their avatars, their pictures, etc., etc. I go to conversations. I have conversations with all the friends that I've had conversations with so far. And if you've used a trio in the past or now, you will know that we have a threaded SMS chat, so you don't actually have individual SMSs in an inbox. You have a chat thread, so your entire messaging history is kept. We added MMS to that. You have a single chat thread for SMS and MMS. But now we have taken one step further, so you have a single chat thread for SMS, MMS, and IM. You don't have to go to different applications for SMS and IM. It's all in the same application. So let's take an example. In this case, I'm talking to Anthony over Google Talk right now, but let's say he goes offline, or he shuts his computer, or whatever. I can go to the top right, and I can select his phone number, and now I can send him an SMS, but it stays in the same context. I did not have to switch my context. And it tells me that the message that I sent him was a text, this message that I sent him was a Google Talk message, etc., etc., etc. So again, this is only enabled because of the power of synergy that we get from contacts. Okay. The next thing that I want to show you is universal search and the browser. Let's say you are in the contacts application right now and you're doing some work. You're trying to figure out what to do tonight after you're done with CES. You want to go to the Blue Man Group, which you have heard is pretty cool. What you can do is you can bring up the launcher, you can go hunt around for the web application or the browser, and you can go to the Blue Man Group website and look up information. Or you can just let the keyboard do the work. We have a physical keyboard, and this is how we leverage it. You press the center button and just start typing. Blue Man Group. So as I just type BL, see what it's doing. It's actually filtering the content that I already have on the device. So it's filtering the list of applications. So it's, in this case, it's matching Bluetooth, so it's showing me Bluetooth. It's also filtering the list of contacts that match with BL, in this case, Amy and Michael. If I continue to type blue, I type one more character, now I only have one match. And because I only have one match, I can actually show right here the ways to contact Michael without even going into the contacts application at all. So you can cut out a bunch of steps of going into an application. If your purpose is to just call Michael, you can just start typing his name right in the home view or in the card view, and you will see his contact information. And at this point, I'm not interested in talking to Michael. All I'm interested in is the fancy Blue Man Group. As the device realizes that there are no more matching contacts or applications on the device, it will now give me options to go to the web to find that information. I choose Google search. Now it will perform a Google search and take me to the browser with the search results.
So what if your best friend's name is Blue Man Group?
We will give you both options.
Okay.
You can choose whichever.
You see what I mean? Like,
Sorry?
so what if you're trying to look for something that's ambiguous, but you really want to look on Google?
That's a good question. I can show you how we are doing it currently. We may change the design a little bit. So,
I wanted to search for Michael.
yeah,
On Google.
I will show you that. That's a good question. So, let's do that. Blue, right? I actually want to search for blue, B-L-U, on Google.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Okay.
So we optimize, and I mean, at this point we have made a decision that till it matches, we just show that. If the user wants to still search for that, they can tap there. But most likely, and you'll notice in practicality, as you keep typing for the search term, you'll pretty much run out of stuff on the device, and the web searches will be the only options at that time. So I go back to the web page. We have a fully desktop, sorry,
What's the browser base?
WebKit.
WebKit?
Yep, the same technology base that Apple Safari uses as well as the Google Chrome. We have taken the WebKit source because it's an open source project, and we have added a lot of enhancements on top of it to fit our device and our needs. I am in the browser right now. I can double tap to zoom. It will snap to the column where I want to go. I tap on Las Vegas because that's where I am, and that will launch the Blue Man Group Las Vegas page, very much like you would see it on a desktop. Someone was asking me how you pan around and zoom around in the web browser. Let's say you really want to take a close look at those faces. You can just use multi-touch. If this is too freaky for you, you can zoom out and go back. So it's really smooth. And just do that.
Does the browser support multi-touch?
The browser currently does not support multi-touch. The other thing that you can do is double tap. So if now I'm convinced I want to go watch their show and I want to order online, I can just double tap here and I can click on order online. So moving around on the page, zooming is obviously very, very important, and we think we have a great interface for that, but that's not enough. People want to be able to have multiple web pages open at the same time, which is something that they're used to on their desktop, and they want to do it on the mobile as well. So let's see if we can do that or not. I go to new card. When I open a new card, I can either just type the URL or a search term there, or I can go to one of my bookmarks, and my bookmarks have this nice icons, or they are images of the web pages. So hopefully not offending anyone politically, but let's go to the Barack Obama change.gov page. Someone made me bookmark that earlier. And I can see this content very, very clearly. So what happened to the Blue Man Group web page that we were looking at? Well, again, with the power of cards, we can have multiple web pages open at the same time. So both the web pages are active, they are connected, and I can go to any of them by just tapping on them or killing them.
What's the gesture to killing it?
Click up.
Is when you have information on a web page, say like a phone number, is it recognized by the phone so you could dial it?
I forget if we only do it based on tags. So there are certain tags like TEL and stuff like that, or do we just look and parse all the phone numbers? I'll have to get back to you on that.
If you started typing for, say, Starbucks, would it look for local Starbucks when you're in, say, a Google Maps application?
We do have one of the options for search as maps. So if you type Starbucks, you can select maps as the way you want to search. So then it'll actually take you into the maps application.
Yeah, but
It does have GPS and assisted GPS.
will it automatically locate your location and try to give you the result of all the Starbucks in this location?
Depends on how we have designed the application or how any developer designs their application. What you specify as the location, right? Do you want to search near where I am, or do you want to search near some other location? So, but by default, the way our Maps application will work is exactly what you said.
Okay.
It will
good.
search near me. So this is I think the New York Times web page. While the text is readable, I would really like it to be slightly more readable. So if I turn the device around, now it's much more readable. So we have an accelerometer, which we use. Turn it back, and it's back in portrait mode. If I'm trying to show this to some of the people visiting the demo station, then I can just turn it around, and they can read it upright as well.
Full 360 accelerometer?
Sorry?
Full 360?
Yeah.
Yep. Does it also have compass?
It does not have compass. So that's the browser. And the final thing that I want to show you is how we handle interruptions and notifications. One of the issue with being disconnected is that people will bug you and continue to bug you. You'll get SMSs, IMs, emails, phone calls, and sometimes you're just trying to get some work done and you don't want to be bothered by those things. So let's see how we handle those scenarios. Let's say I am trying to get some work done. I'm creating a list for groceries. I want to buy milk, bread, whatever. And while I'm doing that with utmost concentration, a friend of mine keeps bugging me. I will play that role right now. So I continue to work on this as the SMS is going through two carriers. And there it is. Not bad. And as it comes in as a very subtle banner at the bottom of the screen. If you notice that the cursor control was not taken away from the application and focus, on any other mobile device today, okay, that's too broad. On most of the mobile devices today, what will happen when a notification comes in is you have to handle it. Whether you dismiss it, whether you reply to it, you have to do something with it before you can switch back to what you were doing. We do not want to do that. On your desktop today, if an email came in and you had to handle it before you could go back to what you were doing, you would not use that device. And we really feel that the level of interruptions and notifications on the mobile devices is growing at such a level that we need to give the users a better way to handle it. So I ignore it at that point, and it goes to the right as a simple icon. Now that I'm done with my list, I can go back to it. I can tap on that, and it will show me a dashboard view of what the message was. If I tap on it, it will take me to the messaging application. I can view it, I can reply to it. But if I don't care, I can just swipe it off the device and it's gone. So
The
very, very easy
notification
for
is
you
done,
to
right?
handle notifications. Sorry?
The notification is done, not the actual message.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes. We will not be deleting content from the dashboard view. We're only getting rid of the notification. This dashboard area is not only for incoming messages or notifications or missed calls, but also for other activities on the device, like music. So let's say I'm getting bored and I want to listen to some music as I'm working on my lovely grocery list. I go to my list of songs and I tap and it starts playing the music. I don't like the track too much, so I'll just swipe here and it will easily change tracks, and it's showing me album art there as well. Okay, I like it. So now I can go back to what I was doing. Music continues to play, and it also shows a little icon in the dashboard. If I tap it, it gives me a control area for the music. It even has, it's hard to tell there, but it even has album art behind it. I want to switch tracks, I can just do it right from there.
Is this tied to the Sprint Music Store, or is this independent of that?
It's not tied to the Sprint Music Store. In this case, I have these songs just locally on my device. Maybe I move them over USB to my device. We also have an Amazon MP3 store, so you can download DRM-free songs from Amazon. I think from 79 cents to 89 cents, it varies.
Regarding the actual pictures of each song, do you have to put them manually on the device, or based on the artist name and track name, you will look it up automatically onto the web?
We are not looking them up automatically, at least right now. We may do that in the future. If you download anything from Amazon MP3, it will come with the album art. If you're dragging songs from your PC, if they don't have album art associated with them, then album art will not show up. And we just have a generic icon here with the song name.
And so, I'm sorry to interrupt, just so I'm clear on this, you can play a song and switch from one song to another, one album to another, while you're doing a completely different application than the main one. So that's, I mean, you can't do that on an iPhone.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Among other things.
I just want to make sure I understood.
Yeah. I'm good. Oh, if Yanika could get me a battery. So let's say I'm done with the music application and I can just throw it off the screen and the dashboard disappears as well.
Can you show copy paste?
Yeah.
Really fucking
Critical area.
We'll go back to the grocery list. Let's say demo. Can you see? Yeah. This is one which we are still optimizing, but it works. So as I, or not.
There you go.
So it highlights.
And you could paste in any other application.
Sure. All right. Did I showed you guys the Touchstone, right?
The charger,
The charger.
wireless.
Wireless
Or not,
charger.
I know where. Well, yeah,
Yeah, the phone dropping off.
like a vibrating,
That's right, like a toothbrush.
like a toothbrush.
charges like a toothbrush.
Yes.
a Sonic,
Yes.
Yeah.
Other questions before I start a new demo for the new people who may have joined the group?
Can you show us video on the device?
Yes, I can.
And it's on
So we have a video player which supports MPEG-4, H.263, H.264 videos. As long as at least one of my fingers is still connected to the system, or two.
It's like looking at a diamond, right? Or
Yeah.
jewelry.
Yeah.
and it's,
How does it feel?
It feels amazing.
And I did not pay him to say
Yeah.
it.
Can we touch it? You didn't get the
It feels
vibe
like
from
a
Polished
pebble.
river stone,
Yes, it's
Wow.
polished river stone.
Polished rivers.
which is exactly the inspiration behind the ID.
Is it really?
Yes. Good catch.
Is there a travel charger going to be available?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's Sprint, huh?
Yeah, so for those who did not read the entire press release, this is going to be an exclusive with Sprint, and it'll be launching in the first half of this year. After launching with Sprint, we will also do a generic open UMTS device for the rest of the world.
Is the UMTS also going to be HSTPA?
HSTPA.
Will you sell that in Palm stores?
When you say the rest of the world, you mean not AT&T? Okay.
Because that would then violate the exclusive with Sprint.
How long is that?
We can't talk about that.
You don't know how long the exclusive is going to be?
I do know, but I can't talk about it.
iPhone's 5 years.
We'll see how ours shapes up. Hopefully we can beat that, at least by a few months.
I want to ask you about Apple, but can you compare and contrast the benefits of using an ARM-based processor, an industry standard, versus, say, a proprietary processor?
I could not.
Someone might be developing on
I
their own?
could not. There are other people in this room who probably could.
I'll bust them later.
Yeah. Okay.
What CPU does this use?
TI OMAP 3430.
Thank you.
The calendar
Sure.
on the calendar application, is it able to subscribe to iCal subscribable calendars?
You know, it doesn't have it right now, but that's one of the things we have in the roadmap. What you can do, because we sync with Google Calendar, if
Yeah.
you go to Google Calendar, you can actually subscribe to a lot of public feeds.
Right.
So things like the San Jose Sharks schedule or TV Guide or weather. So you can actually subscribe to all of those, and we will bring that information down to the device. I don't know if you remember when you saw the calendar application. I actually showed you some of that information. I had the San Jose Sharks schedule, the weather, and the TV Guide.
So does the phone allow for direct subscription, the iCal ICF files, or it's just what's coming through Google Calendar?
Currently, it's what's coming through Google Calendar. Over time, we will add
Is
that.
there CalDAV support or any sort of calendar as well, or it's all Exchange and then Google Calendar?
Exchange, Google Calendar, and Facebook events.
Besides Exchange, do Google Calendar and Facebook events push to the device?
Exchange absolutely pushes. I think Google Calendar and Facebook do not right now. I think in talking to them, they are in the future looking at that stuff, but right now it's based on some occasional polling.
Can you subscribe to contacts or calendars from multiple, and IMs from multiple Google accounts?
Yes.
What is the PC or Mac sync capability for side loading?
For side loading?
For side loading content as well as contact sync.
Right. So for side loading of content, we provide you, basically you attach it to the PC or the Mac, and it shows up as any other USB mass storage device, and you can drag and drop files between the two devices.
Okay.
Syncing directly to the PC or the Mac is not something I can talk about today.
Okay. Do you have what the audio codec support is for playback?
We have the usual MP3, AAC, AAC Plus, Wave, AMR.
Run through that.
Yeah.
The headphone jack, does that
Standard.
also have the third prong for voice? As a hand
For a
free?
microphone?
For microphone, for hands-free.
Now, does that require something special on the device side? I don't know. I don't know the answer to
I think
that.
the jack will be able to read that extra prong on the
Okay.
what, 8th millimeter, 4th
Right, but I
millimeter.
think it's semi-standard. I don't know.
It's a good question. I'll have to come back to you on that. I'm out of cards, but if you want to jot down my name, it's my first name dot last name. Easier to take a picture. First name dot last name at palm.com.
What do you do at Palm? What do you do at Palm?
I'm in the software product management group. I manage all the applications.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you know